A new item has arrived at Mission Control. It is an emergency medical kit, but its equipment identification number is missing. The database team must decide whether missing information should be allowed. To answer that question, we first need to understand NULL. In SQL, null represents a value that is missing, unknown, or not yet available. It does not automatically mean that somebody made a mistake. Sometimes the value truly is not known yet. For example, a piece of equipment may exist in the manifest before it has been assigned to a cargo flight. Null is not the number 0. 0 is a known numeric value. Null is also not an empty text value. An empty string is text containing no characters. These values may look blank in some tools, but they represent different information. Our current equipment table allows missing values in most columns. When a column is created without NOT NULL, SQL Server normally allows null. The primary key column is different. Because equipment ID is the primary key, it must always contain a value. Mission Control knows the item's ID, name, and priority. Its exact weight has not yet been confirmed. Because the WeightKg column currently allows null, SQL Server accepts the row. The database now records honestly that the weight is unknown. When we retrieve the data, the medical kit's WeightKg value appears as null. That does not mean the equipment weighs nothing. It means the database does not currently know the weight. This distinction matters when Mission Control calculates cargo capacity. Some missing values are acceptable. Others make the data unsafe or unusable. Mission Control may temporarily allow an item to remain unassigned to a flight, but every cargo item must have a known weight before launch planning can be completed. The database should enforce that rule. We add NOT NULL to columns that must always contain a value. In this design, every equipment record requires a name, a weight, and a priority level. If an insert leaves out one of those values, SQL Server will reject the row. Now the WeightKg column is defined as NOT NULL. When we try to insert the medical kit with a missing weight, SQL Server rejects the row. The database is enforcing the mission rule that every cargo item must have a known weight. Mission Control confirms the medical kit's weight. We replace null with the known value, 400 kilograms. The row now satisfies every required column rule, so SQL Server accepts it. Sometimes a column is intentionally allowed to contain null. For example, equipment may be entered before it is assigned to a flight. To find missing values, SQL uses is null. We do not write FlightId equals null. Null is not compared with the normal equals operator. Now it is your turn. Create a flight table where the flight code and maximum weight are required, but the launch date may be unknown. Insert Luna-01 without a launch date. Then try inserting a flight without a flight code and observe the error. Finally, uses null to find flights that do not yet have a launch date. In the next episode, we will stop entering every identification number manually and introduce the identity property.